Hello, everyone. This is Sean. Welcome back for another edition of Questlog. So I had a whole thing written up since we're getting kind of closer to reunion season up at Williams, and so I had a thing written up because I have a very complicated relationship with the college. I am a graduate of the college, and as my college experience was a bit of a complicated one. Um, as I know, several of my friends also, well, to say complicated would be putting it mildly. Um, so I thought about writing something up, and I had a bunch of bullet points and everything. Um, to sum it up, it's really unusual. Um, well, not really unusual, but just like obviously I have good memories from there, but there was also a lot of really difficult, just awful stuff. Um, and I was going through a lot of really awful stuff in my personal life as well later on, and they impacted each other. Um, so yeah, and I kind of had a tough time adjusting, um, just from well, I guess I might as well start talking about it. So, going from growing up, I always relied on kind of like my intelligence and sort of creativity to sort of stand apart, like set myself apart and stand out and stuff. Um, and when I got there, it was, not only now instead of standing out, was I on the same level as everybody, both creatively and intellectually. But there were most of the people there also surpassed me in those categories, as well as they were more athletic, they were better at video games, they were better looking by far. They were just in better shape. They were certainly a lot more popular and all that stuff. So it was like everything that made me me. There were other people that were just better at it in every possible way, and so it it became a big struggle to kind of sort of figure out like what makes me me, and why, for example, would anyone pick me, say, for a relationship, for a job, for even like a class partner, for a project and stuff like that. So it was a question that came up a lot. Um, or even just who to hang out with. And like freshman year, garbage. The whole year was garbage. I might as well just throw it out. Nothing really good of note, I would say. Um, like for every good thing, there was like 12 horrible misfires. Um, and that was trying to like get out and be social and everything, but just like forcing myself to go places, like forcing myself to go to parties and everything to interact with people, but then getting there and not interacting with people because like I don't know anybody. And to this day, like I do much better when, because like I like meeting people and everything, but I find it hard to start a conversation. um So I find I often have times where like I'm a shy extrovert, where like I can't strike up a conversation, but it's like just somebody break the ice, and then like believe me, like talk your ear off kind of a thing. But it's just getting that ball rolling. Or even there were times when I was able to, and then just like shut down, like just not even want to interact with you at all, like go away. Um, so yeah, I mean that was difficult. Um, most of my friends were a year ahead of me, so senior year was difficult because everybody was gone. I do, I did have a small group of friends that, kind of, were either a very limited pool of friends that were in my own class year or behind me. Um, and so thankfully, like I had them. But yeah, I mean, when all of the 2007 graduates, graduated and went, mostly to Boston or to the West Coast, um, it was kind of like, oh well, what do I do now? Like all my friends left. Um, Thankfully, uh, by then I was kind of in full swing for Warcraft. I got into that my junior year. Uh, Shout out to Ephemera, my longtime guild. We're not really all that active anymore, but uh, after trying to kind of get into a new, more active guild that a bunch of my guildmates joined, it kind of wasn't working out. Again, for like the same reasons that like going to parties and stuff my freshman year to meet people in college didn't work out. It was just I just didn't really fit. Um, and I tried, but it you know just it wasn't the best. Um, yeah. So right, this is great video stuff. Um, so yeah, I just I guess I wanted to give a shout out to just my friends that were there. Big shout out to Ephemera, um, for doing that. And just because it is the 10-year reunion for the 2007 graduates this year, and I know a number of my friends are choosing not to return back to the college because of horrible experiences there. Um, yeah, it. I guess this is like in solidarity. I guess just talking about it. Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna not really go any further into that stuff because it's bad. Um, and I don't. I've talked about it a lot. Uh, so like in my personal life and everything. But yeah. So hopefully, if people are thinking of coming up, that they take me up on the offer to stay at my house instead of in the dorms because it'll save them about $500, and and then they can certainly hang out here. So, if any of you O7s are considering coming but are kind of dissuaded by that price tag and are like, oh, but I still want to come like hang out and do stuff and everything, like I have spare rooms. So you are always welcome. Just, send me a message on Facebook. So yeah. Yeah. On a happier note, I'm having the first of what is hopefully many, many game nights this week. Um, Hopefully get some board games going. Played Codenames this past weekend. That was a lot of fun. I kind of, I wasn't really kind of getting into it when people were describing it. And then, I actually decided to like sit down and play it and everything. Totally didn't know that Vlaada Chvátil had made it. So that kind of turned my opinion around on it a little bit. Which is funny, like if something is normally in like a genre that you're kind of iffy on, and like when people have described it, you're like, I don't know if that's really for me and everything, and then like you find out if the designer or the director or the artist, like the performing artist or something, is like someone that you're actually a big fan of their work, of their other pieces of work, like it suddenly turns your opinion around on it. I think that's an interesting thing. It would be like if someone had never played I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a game context, but Yeah, it's such a weird thing because I guess people like are coming and going these days so frequently that it's difficult to find sort of big names in the industry these days. Um, I don't know. I guess so. For an example, from like an indie example, if you had told me, hey Sean, there's this new mobile game that's being put out for X, Y, and Z. And I looked at it, I'm like, well, I don't really know about this or whatever. But somebody said like, but Concerned Ape made it. I would suddenly turn around and be like, oh well, that's interesting. Maybe I will give it a check. Um, just because Stardew Valley is just so good that I would absolutely take a look at whatever else Concerned Ape made because of the quality of his existing work. So I think it's just an interesting thing. Um, but yeah, so shout out to Purple Dragon Games and Nico. Uh, Hopefully, you have much success up there, and best wishes from us at 8-Bit Adventures. And whatever we can do to support you, we will. So, yeah. But yeah, so the game night, doing board games, card games, Switch games. I'm really hoping that I can get some multiplayer going on the Switch since I have 4 Joy Cons, so that people can play stuff like Snipper Clips or Bomberman. Um, yeah. Sadly, Mario Kart comes out in like 2 weeks after that, so I won't be able to really. That would have been the big one. Um, but yeah, it's a little too late. And Arms, I don't know when Arms is coming out. I guess there's a direct sometime. I guess tomorrow, the 12th. If you're not watching it if you're not watching this video as soon as it goes up, so on April 12th, there's a Nintendo Direct talking about Arms. So hopefully there's some information on that. I picked up Graceful Explosion Machine and Snake Pass, and I think they're both kind of interesting. I'm really enjoying Graceful Explosion Machine because it's just like a little Defender game with cute little polygonal graphic like monsters and stuff. And you play as a little spaceship and you go flying around, zoom, zoom, zoom around the screen, and you're just shooting lasers at things. It's like super colorful, super musical, and everything. Very reminiscent of, I guess people have said, of what is it? Asteroid or no, Geometry Wars. That's what it is. It's very reminiscent of Geometry Wars, except instead of like glowing neon stuff, it's almost like a very bright, super saturated color, like pastel, like little cardboard cutout kind of stuff. So I'm really enjoying that. I've been playing it on my lunch breaks because it's like I have 10 free minutes or so, and it's perfect for that. And Snake Pass is a little weird. I've only done a little bit of that, like play through the first level. I'm looking to dig into more of that once I finally finish Zelda. I don't know when that's going to happen, but like just the whole mechanically controlling a snake and like crawling forward and coiling on things and like creating contact points and slithering along the ground and lifting your head to move around on things. It's people have said that it's a completely kind of new way of doing like a puzzle platformer, and I think I have to agree. Like it's kind of a unique control scheme, just because snakes are weird. I mean, they don't really jump. I mean, they don't have legs, and they can wrap themselves around things and grip onto things. So they're kind of I don't want to say they're a unique organism because there's a lot of things that have that similar body shape, but I mean, among terrestrial animals, they're kind of unique in that regard, and capable of doing some complex movements. So, I'm really excited for that. I'm digging the Banjo-Kazooie aesthetic. I'm kind of excited. We'll be excited to pick up Yooka-Laylee at some point. I hope that it does well enough, despite some of the technical issues that reviewers have been finding. That maybe there's enough charm in there to overlook, some of the technical problems. Then that people will pick it up, so that way they can maybe like make a sequel that addresses those problems. or maybe make a patch to address those problems. But yeah, so I think that's gonna wrap it up for this time. Um, so yeah, sorry for kind of the rambling stuff at the beginning with college and everything. Like I said, I had a whole bullet point thing because it was stuff that was bothering me. And I thought about talking about it and just decided, well, maybe not, because it's getting to some really heavy stuff. Um, and like after writing it down, I do feel like a better just having. It's that whole thing about like, if you write it down, it's kind of like talking about it and just getting it out there as like a catharsis. So, um, yeah. Now I'm gonna go cook some chicken that I was supposed to do last night, and then I will have food for the week. So have fun, everyone. Take care. Enjoy your pie cake. Happy gaming. Fus Roda for the Alliance, and have fun. All right. Be sure to check out 8-Bit Adventures for more stuff. And if you like all of the content and you would like to give back, maybe, please, you can support us over at patreon.com/8bitadventures and get some cool stuff in return. Big shout out to the patrons. And if you want to get in touch with me, follow me on Twitter at 8bitadventures. So yeah, take care, everyone.